Hey y'all, I wanted to do a brief video talking about Dragon Age on the channel now that we have confirmation of Dragon Age the Veilguard coming soon. We're going to talk about the Let's Play, modding, and I also wanted to give you some tips for playing through the whole series before DA4 comes out in case you're pressed for time or looking for a little bit of guidance. Everything is timestamped, so jump around this vid as needed. Let's talk about my Warden, Hawk, and Inquisitors. And yes, plural on the Inquisitors. We're going to be finishing up Emery, our Warden, who is actually closer to done, but I more than likely won't be playing Awakening for her, as it's not something I usually do. Mari, our newly started Hawk for DA2, will be doing the full gambit of the game, including all of the DLCs. I'm particularly excited to lore chat with you through the Legacy DLC, as that really sets up DAI. And speaking of Dragon Age Inquisition, I have officially finished recording for Ivy, and yes, she was 100% on the shorter side for a DAI playthrough. So if you're looking for a more main story, companion story focused immersive LP, she's your girl. However, if you're looking for a slightly longer all 3 DLC immersive run, I'd highly suggest looking at my first ever Dragon Age Inquisition Let's Play, Riley. But then, well, there's a third Let's Play coming because I honestly really want to play through the game and go to the different areas and not worry about it not making sense immersively. Because let's face it, as an immersive run, your #1 priority is usually getting the breach fully closed and not running around the Emerald Graves looking for a haunted house. So Genevieve is on her way. This one will not be immersive and will literally be me hanging out with you, talking about all the things and doing all the random side quests that I enjoy doing, like finding that one Druffalo in the hinterlands. But this does mean that both Ivy and Genevieve will more than likely be running at the same time for a bit because we want to get as much in as possible before DA4 arrives. So I hope you'll join me for all of this Dragon Age content. On the modding front, all of my modding tutorials are still 100% up to date, outside of making note that the Frosty Mod Manager tutorial for DAI, the mod manager itself has been updated to not need you to change the launch option settings like was mentioned in the video. So you could skip that step unless you're using an older version of Frosty. Which also means that all 3 games worth of tutorials, links for mod managers, etc. all still work and all still apply. I'm also putting together some vids for each of the games for my absolute favorite of all time mods, so you can hopefully find a few things to add to your list while playing through each of the games before DA4 releases. In the meantime though, I do have various top mod vids for each game that are all linked in my Dragon Age modding playlist that will be linked in the description of this video. And lastly, if you're considering playing through all of the games before the Veilguard comes out, but a little unsure of where to start or how to fit it all in, here are a few of my tips for you. Stick all of the games on easy if you're playing for story and lore more than anything. There is literally no shame in that, as a lot of the bigger fights can get tough in each game, and that will really slow you down. So if combat isn't your thing, don't stress about it, just make it easy for yourself. If you're looking to make a perfect for you world state that you'd like to use, I'd highly suggest looking up guides before playing for certain events. DA2's companion system, while easy to understand, can sometimes be a little tricky to navigate with the various approval and disapproval points. I've used all of the wikis numerous times and found it to be very helpful. And the DAO endgame can also be a little tricky if you're looking for something very specific to happen. So I suggest looking up a guide to that for all of the possible outcomes, especially because sometimes there are certain events that take place almost towards the beginning of the game that will play in to that ending. The DAO companion side quests are usually triggered by a few different things, and one of them being companion approval. So if you're getting close to the end of the game and you haven't seen someone's quest, try giving them all the gifts. The Feast Day DLC makes that easy, so you can buy a universal gift that will give you points with literally any of them super fast. And lastly, DAI is a beast of a game. Literally, there are so many side quests that I'm not sure if it's possible to make even half of them matter going forward. So if you're pressed for time, I'd highly suggest sticking to your favorite areas, main story, and companion side quests. Places like the Falamire, Emerald Graves, Hissing Waste, etc., while beautiful and very interesting and have some great stories, aren't necessarily important for the main story and your companion stories, so you can skip those if needed. And those are just a few of the tips that I have, hopefully to help you get started on playing all of the Dragon Age games before the Veilguard comes out. I can't wait to hang out with you all in the various Dragon Age content we have coming on the channel, and then, of course, in DA4 when it launches. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you somewhere in Thedas. Bye!